beam over to Molly to take over completely. And this balance beam competition order is stacked, leading off with Jenks, who we just saw do incredible work on uneven bars. Nia Kraus, Emma Simpson, Isabel Sycon, Spence, and McClellan. That's a packed lineup.
Packed indeed. Jenks with a career high of 9.8, season high 9.775. Last week, Whitney Jenks with a 9.75.
Last week was a tough balance beam rotation for the Huskers. Talked to head coach Heather Briggs. She said, we beat ourselves last week. It wasn't us. It wasn't the rotation that Nebraska balance beam is capable of, and it can't be perfect every week. I think this is an incredible opportunity for them to come back, put together an excellent lineup. Handspring layout, it's her series element to start things off. Little balance check there at the end, nothing major. So her full turn, that is a requirement for all athletes on balance beam, doing a turning element. Gorgeous front toss, single skill, perfectly squared on top of the balance beam.
That was beautiful, Olivia.
Her leap combination. Switch leap to a straddle half. Judges are looking for perfect 180-degree position. And Whitney hit that perfectly. Just the dismount. Round off 1.5. Minor hop forward, almost a bunny hop forward. Nothing major, but an excellent leadoff performance. Exactly what you want as someone kicks off the lineup, especially on beam. Gorgeous front toss, a little smirk from her. She knew it was well done, and dismount 1.5, a blind landing, and a minimal movement forward.
Let's talk about what the judges look for as we get ready for the floor. The Maryland Terps, who, by the way, are 19th in the country on the floor.
Gymnasts need to control the lunge out of their tumbling. You do not have to stick it perfectly. You can lunge backward if you're tumbling backward, lunge forward if you're tumbling forward. It must be controlled. Height and amplitude, that's the name of the game in gymnastics. You want to see height done well. And finally, those 180-degree positions, I just mentioned it on balance beam, you have to show splits.
Lauren Brendingler, first to go for Maryland, career high 9.8, last week 9.65.
Love this leadoff performance. She starts with a massive tumbling pass, full twisting double back, a little under rotated last week at home. Let's see if she can find the landing this time around. Good job. This time over-rotated. She didn't have time to absorb into the mat to minimize those deductions, but risky as your first pass in your leadoff, but definitely will pay off down the line.
Remind us all, Olivia, the deduction for going out of bounds as she just did.
That's right. That is a 1/10 deduction, flat deduction to her score. Notice she did have a mat there, which is not a deduction to use the mat, but the line on the mat is also still out of bounds. So unfortunate out of bounds deduction incurred from Lauren.
Sophomore from Ashburn, Virginia, Broad Run High School.
Final pass here, front full to a front layout. Best landing of the two. Notice that forward control lunge as she was tumbling forwards. She is able to do that for 0 deduction.
Next on beam for your Huskers, Nia Kraus.
Regardless of not having the perfect landing here, it's incredibly impressive to lead off with this. Just see, she didn't have a moment to settle into the mat, which resulted in the hop backward and the out of bounds deduction, but well done on the connection pass here. Another requirement connecting 2 saltos and a controlled lunge forward.
Big, deep breath there from Lauren. Just got Jenks' score, so we go now to Nia Kraus, the Canadian transfer from Lindenwood. Career high 9.9, season high 9.825.
Mentioned Nia as a transfer. Talked to Sophia McClellan this week. She said Nia is so fun and bubbly. She helps us through our hard days. She's been an incredible addition to this Huskers team. First series, back handspring, layout, step out. Good job staying on the balance beam, but that was a sizable wobble there. You saw her leg lift. It is a fairly large deduction, likely about 3/10.
Her wobble, she's coming off a 9.625 in her last meet.
Another wobble there, just needs to settle into the apparatus, a little shaky. See, cartwheel there, fulfilling her forward or sideways element. All gymnasts need to show that they can go forwards or sideways and backwards. You'll notice that in all these routines. The back handspring gainer full. Good job in the second half of that routine. Quite shaky there in the beginning. So likely will be the score that the Huskers would like to drop. Take a look at that dismount here. Back handspring into a gainer full. Good height, a little bit of leg separation, and a minor adjustment on the landing.
So Krause with a hug from her coach, Heather Brink. Back on the floor, it's Taylor Reck with a career-high, season-high 9.875. And, of course, Maryland coming off that performance in front of a record-breaking crowd. It was awesome.
Hearing Brett Nelligan and Alexa Rothenbuscher tell us about it, they just said it was remarkable to be in that arena and have that energy, and 7,000-plus fans in Xfinity Center. We love that.
Yeah, his message was simple. He's like, this is what you came to school for, to be able to perform in front of this kind of crowd.
Nice opening pass from Taylor, a front double full. That is a E-valued skill, which is the highest level of difficulty in collegiate gymnastics. Well done opening up with that. Second pass here, a double tuck, huge height. A little softness in her knees, incredibly impressive that she was able to save that. Saw her foot touch the line. I don't believe she went over, so it will not be a deduction to have your foot on the line.
Becca Jr. from Milton, Georgia.
Good job working through those leaps. A little off balance in the second jump, the Wolf full. The judges are really keeping their eyes on jumps this season, as many gymnasts are only doing 2 passes. It doesn't matter how many passes you do, as long as you achieve the difficulty needed to start from a 10.0. A 1.5 to a front layout. Little off on all of these passes, unfortunately, but was able to stay in bounds. Take a look here at that pass where she did step on the line. Huge height and amplitude on the double tuck. And wow, managed to stay in bounds. If she had put that heel down, it would have been out of bounds. So incredibly veteran move there. There's that final pass, the connection pass. Looks like she was very close to the line there as well, but was able to stay in bounds. So shaky routine back-to-back there from the Huskers on beam and Maryland on floor.
Back to the beam, and Emma Simpton, you already said that Heather Brink said last week was not indicative of what her team is like on the beam. That includes for Emma Simpton, who had a 9.075. This is somebody who has a career high on the beam of 9.925.
Emma will give us our first look at a triple series, 3 elements connected to each other. This is what she had some trouble with last week. Not this week. Quite a view here from our crew looking at the beam head on. You just really see how small it is.
She's in rhythm right now.
I love how she's not just doing beam, she's performing beam. You see her take deep breaths. She's using her facial expressions. Incredibly difficult combination there. A split jump to a sheep jump where she took her eyes off the balance beam. So not only is beam hard, she decided to look away from it on a skill. And the gainer full, stuck landing to a let's go. Great work, especially after last week having a mistake on that triple series, coming back at home. So great to see her come back. Triple series there, lovely execution. And right there, brings the arms up and over, tight finish. And that dismount, the exclamation point on this great routine. Little pike down there on the landing. Want to see her keep her hips open a little bit more, but no movement with those feet.
Emma, I thought had great lines. Olivia, she smiled on the beam and then smiled when she finished on the beam as well.
It's exactly what you want to see.
Stepping up to floor.
So Lauren Renlinger's score adjusted to 9.65, Taylor Reck 9.75. Now it's Rhea LeBlanc, the senior.
Saw Rhea come up clutch on both bars and vault for the Terps so far.
Reck had a 9.7, to clarify that.
Nice front double full, huge height. Good control on the step forward.
Blake setting her season high last week with that 9.85.
Lovely second pass, 1.5 to front layout that rose above the 1.5. That's exactly what the judges are looking for.
See how tight this match is right now. Check it out. Slim lead for Nebraska.